sitting here looking at this, and BBFX 27. I mean, the way you guys come back and talk down to me. You can have a trading, you can back test your strategy without an indicator, right? No, you cannot. You see, all that a trading program is the automated version of trading an indicator. Now, just because you can't see the indicator on the screen, that doesn't mean it's not there under the hood. All you're doing when you have a trading system is you're setting up an indicator, and let's say that indicator produces a number that oscillates around 0. It goes up into the positive range, and then it goes into the negatives. It goes back into the positive range, goes back into the negatives. And all you can do with a trading system is you can say, okay, let's take my program or visually and look at that indicator, and then based on the value of that indicator, at certain levels you will buy, at certain levels you will sell, at certain levels you will close those trades. And then at certain levels you will remain neutral with no trades. Okay? So no, you cannot backtest a strategy without an indicator. An indicator is the heart of any strategy. Now, moving averages. I think that person BBFX27 made a comment to me that said something. Let's see if I can find it. Every bot you have ever used has been based on a moving average. And he comes back, smart aleck. I've never used a trading... Oh, geez. Okay. Every bot that's out there on the street... Excuse me, I didn't mean to accuse you of anything, BBFX. I haven't used a trading bot, and if you imply that every indicator is based on a moving average, that's incorrect. Okay. Show me. Come on, show me. Show me an indicator out on the street that's not based on one or more moving averages. Now, you know what a moving average is, right? Okay, if we have a 30-day moving average of the temperature at high noon, then at noon today, we will take the temperature of today and the temperature of the previous 29 days for a total of 29 temperatures. We'll add them together and then divide by the number of periods, which is 30, and that is our average of the temperature at noon for the previous 30 days, including today. Okay? And that will become your point on the chart today. Okay? Now, to draw the bar before the previous bar, we start with that day and the 29 days before it, and we add them together and divide by the number of periods. Now, notice I'm talking about a period variable. Okay, there's two variables that can be changed in a moving average. One is the period size, and one is the number of periods. Okay? Right? So you've got the number of periods and the period size. If you have a 30-day moving average, you have 30 periods of daily period. If you have a 30-minute moving average, 30 periods of minutes. That would be too short to do anything with it, right? So you can change those values, the period and the period size. And this is what bot developers do to generate a nice looking equity curve out of their backtest. Hold on. Okay, let's put an indicator on this screen. Now look at all these indicators. You see these? None of them work. None of them. Let's take relative strength index. Now, do you see that period variable that can be adjusted? That's the period from a moving average. Okay? Now, you see that indicator? Now look at the shape of that thing. Let's put it on a bigger time frame. Now, does that indicator, does that reflect the movement of the price of the currency? Let's put it on a different currency. And on the pound dollar. Does that look similar at all? Does that, see how here we have a little rise up? Yeah, you got a rise up here, but it's really much different. And then here you've got a little bit of a dip, and then here you've got a big dip. Well, this is what trading bot developers have to do. They have to say, okay, if this point, the right-hand point of that blue line, is up high, then do one thing. If it's low, then do another thing. And if it's in another position, do another thing. All you can do is say, based on the position of that indicator, I want to either remain neutral or buy or sell. And then the indicator also has to tell you where you're going to close your trade at. Or you can just use it to open it, just taking a crackpot shot in the dark, and you can set a take profit and a stop loss. You can say, okay, I want to gain X percent, I want to lose X percent. Okay, and that's your money management. But notice the shape of that blue line. Now watch this. I'm going to change the period variable from a 14 to a 30. A little bit different. Okay, let's go in here. Okay, let's change it to a 3. See, now that's an entirely different animal. And so what the trading bot developers do when they want to run a back test is they change these parameters until your conditional rules about when you're going to remain neutral, buy, sell, close, remain neutral, that kind of thing. There's only a few things you can do based on this indicator. And so when they run a back test and they show you, oh, look at this fantastic back test. Well, they sat around and fiddle-farted around with those parameters, with the period parameter. Let's go ahead and put it, let's hit the trash can, hit that. Okay, now it's gone. Now let's put a different indicator on. Let's just pick another one. And they're all the same. They're useless. Okay, notice the period variable, %K period, %D period. Well, this one probably has 2 moving averages in it. Okay, see? 2 moving averages. Are you with me? 2 moving averages. Now look at the shape of that. Okay. Now we're going to go in here and change one of these values from 20 to a 2. Now look at the difference in that thing. It's absolutely useless. I mean, okay, let's say you pick the right values for those two periods so that it will successfully trade the previous 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. I saw somebody, I think it was the Professor Pips, probably a really nice guy. He said that he ran, I think it was, did you say you ran a 15-year back test? Okay, well, you adjusted your parameters, plain and simple. And then, but I want to tell you something. I don't care how carefully you adjust those parameters. They will not work in the future. I mean, trading at a minimum is about betting up or down. And now you've added multiple variables into it. So you've added more complexity to it. Let's look at Bollinger Bands. That's a popular one. Look at that rat's nest. Look at that gobbledygook. What is that? That's 3 moving averages, I'm pretty sure. Okay? Period, 20. Deviation, 2. Okay, let's look at this. Let's go ahead and put a 10 for a deviation and see what it does. Yeah, see, it's a whole different animal, right? Well, in a nutshell, let me just tell you something. I've been a programmer for a minute, and I love programming. I love C programming. And, I mean, I'm a MetaTrader programmer, and I can't achieve success. I'm going to tell you what. The debates that I get from people, I haven't seen anyone in this thread mention that moving averages predict the price. Well, the OP, Professor Pips, he's got how many indicators? He talked about doing, was it a 15-year back test? Let me just go here and let's go back to post 1. I'm pretty sure it'll say it there. I'm using EAs and statistical advantage in trading, so portfolio has been created from 9 automatic strategies. He's running trading bots. Okay. Did he say in here somewhere that, yeah, no problem, back test from last 15 years looks promising? No, it doesn't, Mr. Pips. I'm really trying to do you a favor. I'm telling you something, and if you walk around in denial about this, you're going to be the one that's sadly disappointed. You need to understand the mechanics of this thing. Let's get that Bollinger Band off of there. Okay, let's put something else on there. Pick one. I can't hear you. MACD is a popular one. Now look here, fast EMA 12, slow EMA 26, MACD SMA, simple moving average. Did somebody say that nobody in here uses moving averages? Boy, are you mistaken. Okay, you got your fast EMA period. I'm pretty sure, I'm guessing, but that's probably a period. Slow EMA is 26. Okay. Look, you got a histogram. That's the white part of the bar. Okay, you see this white section, and then you got the red line. There's 2. It's just how they displayed it. See, now look at that. You see the shape of that indicator? Now watch this. I'm just going to put a very different number in there. From 12 to 2. See, that makes a whole different animal, doesn't it? Right? This back on a decent time frame. Okay, so now look, let's put another ridiculous number in here. From 25 to 2. Can't even see the darn thing now. Put a 42 in there. See, it's an entirely different beast, right? I'm going to tell you something. Now, I don't owe you anything, and I'm really not trying to rag on you, but I'm telling you that moving averages are the core of these indicators. You're not going to get anywhere with it. Your assumption that your 15-year back test means something, because I'm pretty sure what traders are thinking when they see these back tests. I know what they're thinking. They're thinking, oh my God, if it traded for the last 15 years, it's got to work for 6 months. Then we'll just run another back test. I'm so sorry, Sam. That is not the way it's going to play out. Okay? Let me get that nonsense off my screen. Let's put another one up there. Let's do standard deviation. Hey, look at the period variable. You see that? You know what shift is? You know how I told you that if we're doing a 30-day average of the temperature at noon, we'll take today's temperature at noon and then the 29 previous days? Well, instead of doing that, we shift everything back one day or back 2 days. It's still the same nonsense. You're still dealing with a lagging indicator. See that? Look at that. Isn't that nonsense? Okay, see the shape of it? Let's just go from 2 to 20. Now look, it's a whole different beast. So this is what is literally happening. You know what this does? It awakens the gambler addict in people that aren't even aware that they're gambling addicts. And they see these back tests and they think they've found their pot of gold. And little do they know, they're going to lose their pot of gold that they have. And the funny thing is that this is all that traders have to rely on. This is it. The great majority of traders, you either have a natural knack for trading. I mean, you're either somebody like Warren Buffett that eats, sleeps, and shits, estimating the value of something, a guy who really has a knack for it, or you're not going to make it. Plain and simple. If you're doing it based on these moving averages, you can just forget it. Because your delusion that the 15-year back test means something, no, you're so wrong, my friend.